Hello everybody, it's David Rauschendorfer, your cybersecurity resource, and thank you for tuning in today. Today I just want to do a very quick, short video to talk to you about a couple additional policies that I've dubbed operational policies that you may want to implement for your organization outside of your core information security or cybersecurity policy set. Now, I'm talking about pulling these out of the core policy many times because either they don't apply specifically to the entire organization, or you're really looking for individuals and resources to acknowledge receipt through signing that they've received these, that they've read through them, and that they understand them, and allowing them the opportunity to ask any questions that they may have about these individual policies. And a lot of times you're going to be doing this in onboarding and ensuring that they're doing it, or as maybe resources change roles and these policies then start to apply. All right, so the first policy that I really want to talk to you about today is going to be your acceptable use policy. Okay, so this is the policy that's going to govern how individuals or how resources are allowed to use your company assets, right? Can they go and sit on social media sites? Are those going to be blocked in your organization? You know, what's really governing them? What's basically allowing them to use that company asset in a secure manner to protect your organizational data to do their job function and their role? What's appropriate for them to perform as far as those duties when they're sitting on those company assets, when they're sitting on their lunch break? What is appropriate use, acceptable use, governed by the organization as they're using those company assets, right? So you really want to dictate that information and highlight to them what is appropriate for that, okay? So the second policy that I want to talk about, and this is going to be critical for any healthcare organizations. Now, all organizations should look to implement this. HIPAA does require it, and they use the term sanctions, right? So we're talking about a sanctions policy. So a lot of times, if you're not a healthcare organization, you may be calling this something else. You know, how are you going to discipline individuals? What levels of discipline could take place? You know, from basic training all the way to termination. If they're not going to adhere to these policies, privacy, security, any type of policies that you have set out, your employee handbook, all of those things, when individuals break those policies and just, you know, blatantly not follow them, what is going to happen, right? So the sanctions policy is going to dictate, a lot of times it's going to break down a couple levels of violations that could take place. So, you know, the common ones you may see, some basic things where individuals were just looking to, you know, perform their duties and don't quite realize that they're maybe operating outside of what the policy dictates they should be doing, and maybe they just need some additional training. So kind of basic violations all the way up to kind of just blatantly not doing what they should be doing, releasing sensitive data out to the public, you know, basic violations that are clearly negligence and that everybody should know is not appropriate for the organization. So there's going to be kind of some levels of violations there, and then the sanctions policy can dictate based on the level of the violations what's the most common type of recommended sanctions or disciplinary actions that the management staff all the way through the organization, so not just the security officer, but their actual manager at their department could take on against them, could apply those disciplinary actions or sanctions against them based on that type of violation. So it's really kind of setting that up for the organization. It does help the management staff as well to be more strategic in that activity and be more aligned to what the organization sees as fit as far as the violations as well as disciplinary actions. You know, you don't want a very diverse management staff across your different departments where some managers are really, you know, bringing down the stick, carrying the big stick, and disciplining their resources very harshly, where other departments can really just let them kind of be and do whatever they want. So you want to try and create some standardization there, and creating a sanctions policy is going to do that for you. The third policy that I wanted to talk to you about today is more operational policy, and this is going to be your teleworking policy. Do you allow individuals in your organization to work remotely, work from home? Do you have a part of your staff that travel a lot and have to work remotely based on their role and job function? And when they do that, especially if they're working from home full-time and things of that nature, what's really the requirements for them there, right? What type of data are those type of roles going to be working with? You know, should they really be protecting that area that they're in? Are they allowed to print off sensitive data at their home? Things of that nature. You're really going to want to govern that to make sure that you are protecting that sensitive data from the organization and still allowing for a remote workforce to be able to function appropriately and get the most out of your employees. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave comments below and I'll get back to you right away. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like it and share it with your communities.